Well, to be honest, it's very difficult to judge a person not based on their appearance because that's what you first see. And I think, to be honest, it tells you a lot about what kind of person you're dealing with. But I try to consider other aspects because, in many cases, people pretend to be, for example, kind of person they are not really. And this is very common, especially in big cities, that people tend to be more complicated. People want to benefit from many things and many people all the time, and they pretend to be people they are not. And because of that, you should be more careful. And I try not to judge people by their appearance, because in many cases, I personally believe you can find very nice people in, for example, very cheap clothes, and very how to say, for instance, arrogant or bad people in, for example, very fancy clothes. So I personally try to consider other aspects and try to have at least a quick conversation with the person before try to judge it, even if this judgment is just on my mind.
Okay, part one, appearance. Let's go. To what extent do you judge a person by their appearance? Sounds familiar.
Well, to be honest, it's very difficult to judge a person not based on their appearance because that's what you first see. And I think, to be honest, it tells you a lot about what kind of person you're dealing with. But I try to consider other aspects because, in many cases, people pretend to be, for example, kind of person they are not really. And
Okay, so people pretend to be someone they're not. I think that's the simplest way of saying what he's trying to say here. People pretend to be someone they're not.
and this is very common, especially in big cities, that people tend to be more complicated. People.
Mm, this is very common in big cities. That maybe in big cities where this guy would benefit from just slowing down a little bit. He's speaking too fast or reading too fast. I don't know what he's doing. It's just too fast. If you just slow down a little bit, paused between ideas, it'd be so much easier to understand him.
People tend to be more complicated. People want to benefit from many things and many people all the time, and
People want to benefit from many things. Do you mean like take advantage? People want to take advantage of others?
they pretend to be people they are not. And because of that, you should be more careful. And I try not to judge people by their appearance, because in many cases, I personally believe you can find very nice people in, for example, very cheap clothes, and very,
Makes sense.
how to say, for instance, arrogant or bad people in,
See, now he uses the word arrogant, which is great, but then the next word is just bad. So it's like a high level word combined with a very low level word. Why didn't he choose a better word?
for example, very fancy clothes. So I personally try to consider other aspects and try to have at least a quick conversation with the person before trying to judge it, even if it's.
Now, hang on a second. Was this try or trying?
And try to have at least a quick conversation with the person before trying to judge it, even.
You know what? Now that I listen to this again, I think he did say try. Alright, so the problem there is. Let's see here. The problem here is that he should have said trying, but he didn't. Okay, and the reason is, let's see here. I personally try to. So here he uses an infinitive. So I personally try to. So this is not a verb. This is like a noun, right? So before trying to, this cannot be a verb. This has to be a noun as well. You can say before I try. If there's no I, it's got to be before trying, not before try. If there was a subject, it would be okay, but there's no subject here. The subject is here at the beginning of the sentence.
I personally try to consider other aspects and try to have at least a quick conversation with the person before try to judge it, even if this judgment is just on your mind.
Even if this judgment is just in my mind, if something is on your mind, it means it's bothering you. Like, I don't know, if you have a lot of pressure from work or something like that, then all that pressure is on your mind, it's bothering you. But if you simply just make a note of something, or if you simply just remember something, then mentally it's in your mind. Maybe you should have used the word mentally instead, even if it's just a mental judgment. So pretty short, just one question. It's a very long answer. There are some good ideas, like for example that your opinion on person is based on something. I think the based on, that's a good word, that's a good phrase to use. Here, this dealing with, this is a good phrase to use when you encounter people, when you interact with people, you're dealing with them. Let's see the aspects. I do think that this pretending something, to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure what he means by this. Sometimes we can say people put on a front. It means like they're putting on a face that's fake. I suppose that is what he's trying to say here. This benefiting thing, I wasn't so sure about there. The meaning didn't come across there. But yeah, this is a good answer. I mean, wow, he spoke for a long time on just one question, so that's pretty good.